It's been a really intense day today. So let's open something cask strength. I have been waiting to open this for quite a while. For those of you that aren't aware, this is the 2000 and... oof, bloody hell. Can't even remember. Which one is it? 2000 and something. I want to say like 2022. Ah, I'm an idiot. It says it on the front there, 2021. This is the 2021 Lagavulin 12 cask strength. And I paid the princely sum of £50 a bottle for this. Now, why did I pay £50 a bottle for it? Mainly because Diageo priced it too expensively and most retailers were just trying to get rid of it. And I'm not going to say no to a cask strength 12-year-old Lagavulin for £50. This one, I've been told, is very good, and it is often compared to this one, which is the 2017 release, which is probably my favourite ever bottle of Lagavulin, specifically this 12-year-old. Unreal bottle that. Gave it Whisky the Year a couple of years ago, and most people agreed, which was quite nice. This says it is exclusively matured, or from exclusive refill casks at 56.5%. Based on the colour of this thing, we can assume most of those casks are ex-bourbon. It's already beginning to fill the room with its aroma. It is natural colour, it is non-chill filtered along with that strength, and it has a rather nice picture of a lion on the front of it. I will say, when they made this marketing move to start putting flammable animals on the front of their bottles, it wasn't my favourite thing they've ever done with it. And I think a large part of that was to help sell more of this stock in the Asian market, from what I understand. I just miss the old vintage labels, they were much easier to get along with. But this is very lauded, and it was £110 cheaper than what it should have been. I think this was kicking around for about the £160 mark. So I paid 50 quid. Cannot complain. Why was it so expensive? We'll have a chat about that later. Why is Lagavulin 12 so good? Well, I think because it's just so... there's no lies about it. You know, it's 12 years old, mostly matured in bourbon, bottled at cask strength. It's true to form. It's what I expect almost every Islay distillery to do, if I'm being honest with you. I expect them to just have a young cask strength house style to one side. And a lot of people think Lagavulin, they always think of sherry casks, but I must say that for me, you know, Lagavulin 16 and the Distillers Edition are famous for sherry finishing, but a majority of their life is spent maturing in bourbon, which a lot of us do tend to forget. But no more messing around. Let's smell, let's taste, and let's cheers off to this rather adventurously intense day. It's like chewing on caramel or some sort of vanilla-y sweet as you walk along a beach and a storm is threatening to roll in, and at the same time people are beginning to like abandon their beach bonfires, and you can smell like grilled bacon and grilled meat. Maybe someone got to the point where they were even grilling dessert. Maybe that's what those sweet notes are as well. Along with those caramel vanilla notes, there's quite a lot of pineapple to this. You get a lot of exotic fruit. There's even like passion fruit and mango. But obviously the key draw is the smoke, and that is the definition of ashy, burnt wood, peat fire, but also extremely aromatic. There are some quite incredible notes of like tobacco box and cigar leaf, almost herby notes of rosemary and sage. You're even getting like a dilly sort of licorice aroma from it. Let's taste it. Let's just dive in, eh? That is certainly something that just brings you back into reality. No matter what is happening in your day, where your brain is, that just brings you straight back into the room. The first thing I got from it, it was quite dry and quite nutty. It reminded me a lot of things like Buffalo Trace and Jack Daniels. It had this beautiful peanutty, sweet dryness to it. Then came the texture of the thing. It's so oily, so chewy. And as you chew it, you actually don't get that much spice. It's a younger product, it's really high in alcohol. You don't really get the intensity of the ABV until you actually swallow the whiskey. You're chewing on this aroma of, again, dill, licorice, peanuts. You get a little flecks of those tropical fruit things. You get like a little bit of pineapple, you get a little bit of mango, There's a slight flash of passion fruit, but it disappears as it is snowed over by this, what feels like storm of smoke. And much like the 2017 bottle I pulled out at the start, it's a smoke that has intensity. If you know Islay, if you know cask strength Islay, especially peated, it's one of those things that is undeniable in what it does. And it just pushes and pushes and pushes, and you get all these variations of smoke from salty through to sweet. You get these kind of ashy Campbelltown Springbanky smoke notes. And then you get to the finish, which I'm still tasting now after having spoken to you for however long. And it just explodes. We had a conversation about this with the Leadchick 10 cask strength that we reviewed a few weeks ago. And last week, actually 2 weeks ago. It's up there with that, but they are similar styles of spirit. They're both heavily peated, cask strength, young single malt. And I can still taste it. And you just get this, like, of barrel spice and oak and ABV. And it leaves your tongue like searching for moisture. It's like, where is all the wetness gone? I can't find it anymore. It's like I need something to be quenched. After that sort of dies down, I'm not a massive smoker. I don't smoke, but like on the occasion I've been given a cigar, and quite a nice cigar. What I can taste currently in my mouth is like the taste after nice cigars. You just get that soft tobacco, sweet smokiness. It feels like it's roaming. It also feels as if it's left a film all over the back of my tongue and like the back of my palate. Very olive oil in its texture. But one more sip and then we'll score it. That second sip is so much more herby, and the finish is a little bit more laid back. You still get that spiciness, that pickled jalapeno, brine, salty, spicy, smoky. Not this particular bottling, this is a very, very good bottle of whiskey, especially for the price I got it for. But this kind of whiskey is the reason I totally fell in love with Islay. It's just so forward, it's so intense, it's so direct, there's no beating around the bush. It's just like, here are these three things: cask strength, heavily peated, young Islay whiskey. Enjoy. And the complexity and the intensity it gives you is honestly unbridled by most things in the world. I love bourbon, I love English whiskey and Irish whiskey and all kinds of whiskey. I'm here for all of it because it's all delicious. This kind of whiskey, just unbelievable. I was going to go into a big rant about the whole why is it so expensive, but it's because as we came out of 2020, Diageo special release bottles, which this was part of, was starting to climb in price anyway, and then the secondary market went crazy during and after COVID, and it's somewhat back to normal now. And big companies just got greedy. That's the only way you can really phrase it. And you know, to pay £160 for a cask strength 12-year-old from Islay is a significant amount of money. A significant amount of money where, as a retailer, or a former retailer, if you came into me with that price point, I'd say, oh, you can get the most amazing single casks, or maybe even 3 single casks, certainly 2 for that price point. Or you can buy 1 bottle of Lagavulin. But for £50, I feel like I'm buying whiskey from nearly 12, 13 years ago. Why was this 50 quid? I got this from the whiskey shop. I saw it as an online offer because I think they had a lot of stock of it, or Diageo had a lot of stock of it. They did the same thing with the Oban release from the same year, and I could not say no. £50 for cask strength Lagavulin is an unbelievable price. Would I spend £160 on what will probably be this year's release? No. Would I like to try it? Yes. If this was 50 quid retail, if all of you in the world of Whiskey Wednesday could get this for 50 quid, this will be an easy 10 out of 10. Would easily be a contender for Whiskey of the Year, even though it was released 4 years ago. But it goes to show that old stock isn't moving, and companies are getting a little bit scared about that, both the producers and the retailers, which is never good. But that's the current market we live in. Just lower your prices, because greed is bad. But with all that caveat and all that stuff, the flavour is incredible, the aroma is incredible, the finish is unbelievable. It's still going to get a 9. Like, it's still an absolutely fantastic bottle of whiskey. But if you could all get this for 50 quid, it would probably win Whiskey of the Year. But it won't, sadly. It'll be on the list, but it will not win. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday as I unwind from a not unpleasant, but just a very constant, intense day. I'm going to go and order a pizza. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all soon